up their mess.
Where were they staying?
They're staying in the trees over there.
What's that?
The homeless. They didn't bother me. They haven't bothered any. I haven't seen them bother anybody.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, no, they're not bothering anybody. When I talked to the girl, she was very nice, and I asked her if she was gonna. I said, "Can you please clean the mess?" And she said, "Yeah," but they didn't clean it. But that's okay. I'll get over there with a garbage bag, and I'll pick up the garbage one of these days.
That's not what I'm concerned about. But
Oh, what's your concern?
just that they were arguing. We weren't sure if it was criminal in nature.
Oh yeah. But our arguing isn't a crime, though, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But that's
Yeah, because like I said, I
have to follow
I
up to
haven't
make
seen
sure
anything
that-
criminal.
What's that?
I haven't seen. I walk this path every day, and I haven't seen them doing anything criminal.
Okay. No, I mean he was willing to talk with me, and
Yeah.
They're just two people.
Hey,
that are homeless
you
and
know,
trying to make an argument. I can't imagine over what, but it sounds like she's somewhere back in the tree line. So I was gonna try and make sure the same story came from her, and then move on. But yeah.
Well, I mean, there's definitely some mental health issues, but I don't feel that. Well, you do what you need, officer, but I don't feel police contact is going to help at all. It may, you know, I mean, but that's just my opinion. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Like did somebody call you?
Yeah, I don't know who called me, but the nature of the call is.
Was it what they call you about?
It's we look at it as like a disturbance, right? A disturbance on the
Well,
traffic.
I mean,
Or if
people
they're-
can call and say all types of stuff. It doesn't mean it happened.
If they're in a dating relationship, then it would be a domestic. So we do have to do a little bit of investigation and try and make contact just to make sure. It doesn't have to be this hardcore police presence, though. It could just be, hey man, everything good? You know, do you mind explaining what's going on?
Well, I mean, they don't have to.
Okay.
There was no crime. There was no crime committed.
We can agree to disagree.
No, it's. I mean, the law is very clear on that. What's your name and badge number, sir?
Officer Townsend, badge. I don't remember my badge number. Let's see what it is. 7451.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I'm just giving you a different perspective. To a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and I'm sure there's people that don't appreciate people sleeping over there, but they're obviously doing it because they have a need. So I'm just making sure that you're not making a preconceived notion as to there being a crime committed over there. I haven't seen a crime committed. I can tell that
Actually, stop if I can interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'm retired law enforcement.
Oh, okay.
And I was the one that called them
Oh.
because he was yelling at his girlfriend down there, and I was concerned about her well-being.
That's cool.
Okay, that's why we called the police.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
No, that's
So
fine.
Don't.
What?
He's doing his job. I did my job by calling him.
And I'm
All
doing
right.
my civic job by speaking with him.
Thank
I'm
you.
not. I don't.
Can I just explain one more thing?
Yeah.
Sometimes even just a call is like a deterrence, right?
Sure.
You
A
wanna-
deterrence
you wanna-
against people having an argument
We
is
wanna-
having an argument
Sir,
against
please
the law.
Please let me finish.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, if they're arguing, we don't want to turn physical.
Sure.
So we just say, hey, it's okay to argue. You know, America, freedom of speech. You can argue. all
Yeah.
you want.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. it
Listen,
doesn't
I
turn
respect you, and I don't know why. I mean, I wasn't. Did I disrespect you at all? We were just talking, right? And
Well,
I feel like this gentleman thought that like he had to interrupt because I was disrespecting you. I just want to make sure that when you're dealing with people that you can obviously tell that they have mental, you know, some sort of possible that you treat them with compassion instead of criminalizing them. It's a tough world. That's all I'm asking for, bud.
Of course.
And I wasn't giving them a hard time, sir.
I was just explaining what's going on.
I'm an advocate for people that are struggling, and I was just making sure that we're all on the same page here.
And I was
I
making
appreciate
sure
that
that
you
she was
called,
okay.
but I spoke to her. She's fine. And I know you didn't know that, but I did. So that's why I was just telling this officer that I spoke to both of them. I spoke to her and I spoke to him. And I advocate for people when they're in distress like that. So that's all I was doing here. So I appreciate your concern,
Yep.
but I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's fine. No disrespect, sir. Merry Christmas.
Take care. But I appreciate your concern. You know, I'm a crisis intervention officer, so I do have a
You know,
a soft side for people that are
no,
struggling with
and-
mental illness
and-
and homeless as well.
and
so.
and so do I. And do you know that people with mental
want
health
you to-
disorders
I don't
are
want you to-
16 times more likely to have a negative experience with police officers?
Absolutely.
So all I was doing, and he obviously took it to heart.
I try to be the one guy to have a positive experience here.
No, and I was having a positive experience. He turned it into a negative experience by trying to scold me for telling me that I was giving you a hard time when I wasn't. What kind of country do we live in if I can't have a civil discourse with you? I didn't yell at you. I wasn't arguing with you. I was just pointing out the fact that I had a discussion and you weren't able to have a discussion with that young woman. What I say means nothing to you, but I was just giving you a hey,
No,
man. I talked to her
appreciate that.
and she seemed fine. You know, and I have everything on body camera.
That's fine.
So I mean, just saying no. I know, but I mean, you know, I don't know why people think that they're gonna like protect you. What he jumped in to try to protect you because he thought I was giving you a hard time. You don't need protecting.
No.
All right.
Like I said,
Well, but you know, he has the ex-cop blue line mentality.
Sure. When I get called to something, I have to do my due diligence. It's just part of the nature of my job.
Yeah, man,
But
and
by no means,
I respect you,
but
bro.
by,
like,
no, I get it, but by no, I don't want you to think that I walked up and or drove up.
no,
there
and
like, hey, man, come here.
I didn't think that at all.
No.
Did I say that? I just said, hey.
I know.
I just said, hey. I said, experience, studies. I'm not speaking from a place of ignorance. I'm speaking from a place of being educated on this topic. And
it sounds like you're very passionate.
I am very passionate, and I want to be passionate in a positive way. I'm not trying to cause a rift between you and me. I want us to know each other. I walk this path every day, and if I see something that I'm concerned about, I'll let you know. Like, what we really should be concerned about is we should be concerned about the people that over here that are engaging in sexual activities out in public and when it's warm out.
Correct.
And you know what I'm talking about, right? Right. So instead,
we're looking into that.
yeah, and that happens.
And that's not acceptable. If you have kids walking on the path.
No. I know. So here goes back to my whole thing. Like, I get it. Somebody called about them, but really, like, you guys aren't doing anything about that. That shit happens out in the open every day in the summertime.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff. Hey, listen, I don't care if that's what you like to do, but go to a hotel room. I don't care what your sexual preference is. Most of it is is being done by men and men. Is what I see because I walk this path every day.
Sure.
You guys aren't doing anything about that. It happens right in broad daylight, out in the open. You guys are driving by and it's happening. I've seen it with my own two eyes. But like, all I guess I'm saying is, like, we're over here worrying about some homeless people that had an argument because life is hard and they're living in the bushes. Don't you think maybe they have something a little bit to maybe argue about? They're living in the bushes out in the.
I'm sure their stress levels a little bit higher than the average person.
Yeah, man. That's all. I'm just.
I got empathy for it.
Yeah, man. And I didn't say you didn't. What bothered me was that gentleman getting in between in our conversation because I was trying to advocate for them a little bit and see what your stance was. And I appreciate that you seem like a very empathetic guy. I get that vibe. Like, most officers probably would have already told me.
I'm a very humble person. I'm not opposed to someone, you know,
giving
me new information because I'd be the.
As long as we're being respectful about it, and at no point was I disrespectful because I had no reason to be. I did what I get. You were fine with me. I was fine with you. He thought I was giving you a hard time because I was advocating for them, and that's a problem we have in society today. People take advocacy as somebody as like an argument. Man, how do we go down that rabbit hole where somebody's trying to advocate for their best interest and now it's an argument?
Right.
It's like, but you know, I like I said, I don't want to bother you, but I don't want to bore you. I don't want to, you know, make it seem like I'm just, you know, let's take care of that and try to help them, not, you know, not find out if they were committing a crime.
Sure.
Your first thing you said, you wanted to see if there was domestic violence. Well, you know, if you just come out and check on them, you'll get to that point. But if you show up with that first thing in your head, that's like, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Oh no, we do an objective investigation, so we get both sides in an objective manner. So we don't go into it saying, because dispatch can be wrong all the time, right?
I believe that you believe what you're telling me, but I mean, and I'm being respectful. I believe that you believe what you're telling me, but I mean, that's not usually the case.
Okay.
Cops usually show up with a I mean, the stats are out there, the videos are out there, they come out every day. Not all cops, not everybody. I love good cops. I don't like bad policing, and unfortunately, there's a lot of bad policing around. And those people that are engaged in bad policing give you a bad name, make it hard for you.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So when you see a cop doing something he's not supposed to, because I'm sure you do, and I don't want you to answer that, but I'm sure that you sometimes see something that you're like, ugh, that might not be okay. But you probably don't say anything. You probably just are like, whatever, he's another cop. And that's another problem that we have in policing. So there's things that, as a society, as people, and as police, we all have to work together. If we're going to bridge this gap of this divide that we have going on right now, because there's a big divide between society and police, I'm sure you know that, we need to have these discussions. But police aren't willing to do that, unfortunately. So
I appreciate your perspective. Thank you for letting me know what your interaction was with them.
Yeah, I walk every day. They've been out there for a few days. This is the first time I ever seen the gentleman acting weird, but I believe he was having some sort of episode related to his mental health disorder. I don't believe he was yelling at her. He might have Tourette's or something like that. He was just being loud because I watched him and there was nobody around him and he was doing the same thing.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, for that gentleman to call you and say he was yelling at his girlfriend, I think he was having a Tourette's episode and she was right there. So do you see how that could all of a sudden turn this gentleman was being domestic towards her? No, the guy walks up and down here and does these things. He's weird and he's different, but he hasn't broken the law.
No,
So
that's why he asked me. He said, "Do I have to stick around?" I said, "No, you're good to go, dude."
He thought I was the police because I had this. So I mean, I think he knew that somebody called on him, and that's sad. If that gentleman really thought that something was wrong, why didn't he just ask? Hey, is everything okay here? He walks this path. He used to be an ex-cop. Was he afraid? He didn't look afraid to me. So instead of calling men with guns, if he was really worried about that lady, he could have walked over there and had his phone ready on 911 or whatever and said, hey, is everything all right over here? Are you okay, ma'am? She says, yeah, I'm okay. He said, he talked to you? Yeah, I'm okay. Oh, all right, well, I was just making sure everything's okay over here. And same thing happened here, but, we didn't have to call men with guns. That's all, But he's not really worried. He has that police mentality, see something, say something, and unfortunately, what he saw wasn't anything. And he brought you guys out here. And then he had the audacity to tell me to calm down because I was having a civil discussion with you. Yeah, and we're neighbors. We see each other all the time. So that'll be awkward now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I didn't do anything wrong. And if he says I did, this is the objective, the objective witness that can't lie. Have a good day, man. Do something about those people in the summertime. If something doesn't happen, I will be reporting about it on my news media channel. All right. What is he doing? You couldn't use the road? You couldn't use the road? You had to use that?
Yeah, because I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, all right. That doesn't make a lot of sense, bud. You could have just come up here, waited, and then used the road and not had to cut through the grass. Is there an emergency?
Yeah, there was actually.
What's the emergency, boss?
Not your business.
What's your name and badge number, please?
Hart, H-A-R-T.
I was just asking, did you have to talk to me with disrespect?
Tone that you had with me?
Tone?
Yes.
I had a tone with him?
Slightly argumentative.
Because I asked him why he drove through the grass. He didn't have his lights on. If you were in an emergency, you would have had your lights on.
Are you a policeman?
I never said I was, but
Okay.
I'm just asking, sir. You don't have to be disrespectful.
It's Hart. I'm not disrespectful.
You were. You told me it was none of my business.
It isn't.
It's public business. Yes, it is. Everything that happens in the neighborhood is business of everybody here. You work for the public.
Hart.
You work for the public, and it's public record, so it is my business.
Okay.
And I would expect you to treat me with more respect next time. Unbelievable. Come on, dude. Let's go. These guys obviously have very important business to do and harass the homeless people. And you're continuing to dig yourself a deeper hole.
Have a good day, sir.
I don't need to go anywhere, sir. If I can leave, I can stay.
Have a good day.
You also. This is the tyranny that I like to expose. Tyrant officers like this.